Hey guys, we are talking about sugar pie, how to use it in depth. So sugar pie it's the oil that's not really an oil. It certainly looks like an oil. It's technically a hydrocarbon, which is sounds more chemically than it is because it is derived from sugar, hence the name. It's very hydrating. Um, and it's like an oil. So I do kind of want to say that because it's an oil and it's in a pump, that when you use it, you're not like, don't do this, you know, prepare for it to come out into your hand and voila. So sugar pie, how to use it. Sugar pie is best on the ends of your hair. It just really, it soaks in. It is really, really amazing stuff. I can't live without it. Honestly, don't know what I would do at this point. I used to have to cut my hair all the time, and now it's like I don't get split ends anymore. I mean, they're not like the most, evenly cut, amazing looking ends you've ever seen in your life, but are they healthy? Yes, they are. Okay, so sugar pie, how to use on damp hair. So let's look at scenario one. You shampooed, you masked with density, you're coming out, maybe you put a little density in your hair as a leave-in conditioner. What now? Here's when, okay, let's say you're gonna heat style your hair. Here's when you would add in the sugar pie. You can put it, depends on how much moisture you need. If you don't need volume, then you can go from the root to the tip. I know people who do this. It amazes me. I like a fluffier root, so I keep it away and I just go from like here down, and then I just saturate the ends, like totally like drown the ends of my hair in this. And you can do that obviously on damp hair. Now, if I am wearing my hair curly, we talked during the density video a little bit about my insane do not disturb process. So I do want to cover how to use sugar pie when you are wearing your hair natural. So let's say I plopped with the density, I'm out of the shower, I'm in that like fragile state where I don't want to touch my hair. Couple options. You can just wait for your hair to dry before adding the sugar pie, or you can just kind of like, get your hands all sugar pied up and then like kind of plop your hair and just try not to disturb it. Like, don't rake your hands through your hair. Don't brush it through if you're wearing your hair curly, because if you do, then it's gonna look insane. Or maybe it's not. Maybe other people don't have like the challenges that I do. I don't know. I think like having curly hair my whole life, I just feel like it looks better when you don't touch it when it's dry. I mean, talk amongst yourselves. You guys might have another approach. If you do have another approach, I would love to hear it. Please write in. But that's how I do it. So again, so either if you feel comfortable with like just kind of like working it through, great. Otherwise, you wait for your hair to dry, which brings me to my my next point. You can use sugar pie on dry hair anytime. The thing about it, like the first time you put sugar pie on dry hair, you might have like a mild panic attack because I don't know if you can see, like it takes, and from the studies, it takes like a good 10 minutes to soak into the hair. And until it does, it can look like you put too much on. So you might like freak out a little bit. That being said, start with less. You can always apply more. You can't apply less. I personally haven't really found a time when I have applied too much. Maybe I am conservative with it. And, you know, I do find that it just soaks in after a little while. So even if you go a little bit overboard, don't worry. Wait a minute, let it absorb. It will absorb. And that's what's so cool about it. So most hair oils don't absorb. Most are silicone based. They'll say oil, but like go look at the ingredients, they're silicone based. And what they do is they just kind of like coat the hair. And then, you know, depending on the type of silicone it is, it could be volatile, which means that it essentially like evaporates. So people will be like, oh, it's soaked in. It's like, no, it just left, it's gone, which is fine. But I don't know about you, like if I'm using a hair oil, I want it to actually soak into my hair and do something. And that's what's so cool about sugar pie is it really, I mean, if your hair is thirsty, it will drink it up, and mine does. So dry hair, I like to focus on the ends. Again, I don't think you can apply too much to your ends. I haven't, like, I could probably dip my ends in sugar pie and they would be fine. And then I'm a little more conservative from here to here. You know, especially on dry hair, I'll just work it through. And then again, I'm not a root moisturizer. That's because I have like an oily scalp. And so it's like I have my own root moisturizer. But depending on your hair type, your skin type, your scalp type, you know, you could need more moisture, and then you can, you know, apply the sugar pie to, you know, the roots of your hair. I don't recommend like rubbing it into your scalp. There are, if you need a scalp moisturizer, there are better options out there. So I wouldn't use sugar pie as a scalp moisturizer. It's really for hair. It's meant for hair. So just apply it to your hair, and depending on how much volume you need, you know, skip the root if you want to. Or, you know, some people, they need a little more moisture here. So let's see, we talked about sugar pie on damp hair. We talked about sugar pie on dry hair. Sugar pie on your ends. I think that is all of the ways to use sugar pie. We talked in the density video about combining the two, which is always fun. But use it daily. Use it, you know, damp, use it dry. It's very, very moisturizing, and it's a fine oil. It's a thin oil. So it really, it will get into your hair. But again, give it a few minutes to absorb. And oh, also, I knew I was forgetting something. It's a nice heat protectant. So if you know, if you are going to blow dry your hair or heat style, I always like to put on a little bit of sugar pie first. And then wait, you know, wait for it to absorb. Ideally, if you're pressed for time, it's not gonna, there's no problem with, you know, blow drying or, you know, using a flat iron on your hair immediately after putting sugar pie. The only thing is that you might get more residue on like your flat iron or curling wand or whatever you're using. And that's just because it hasn't totally absorbed into the hair yet. So the longer you can wait, you know, for it to absorb before you go in with like a direct heating tool, you know, that'll just keep your tool from getting, you know, oily. But either way, it's going to offer the heat protection. And that is how you use sugar pie.